Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights, your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. I am your host, Dearjames, and together with the unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, we look at the current energies, the intuitive wisdom and insights, and we go as guided. And we are working with the Eclipse corridor, the current eclipse season. We're right smack dab in the middle of it. And so we're going to be looking at, it's coming up on the 22nd, I believe. Yes, it's coming up. The sun will conjunct the south node in Leo at that anaretic degree of 29 degrees. It's like that finality, that conclusion. That's going to trigger the Leo new moon total solar eclipse that occurred on the 12th of August in Leo. We're in the thick of it. We're in the heat of it, the fire of it. You know, that stripping, shedding, burning away of the old. Welcome, Alicia. So let's jump in, take a quick look at the main energies, the numbers. The important thing to know is that we have double 19s, double 10s, double 1s. So this approach advance, this treading cautious advance, and the creative initiate. So all of this shedding, purifying, releasing is readying us for what's to come, what is before us. As we enter Virgo season, the sun moves into Virgo, and this renewal, this aspect of purification and cleansing. I want to jump, before we go to the astrological chart for the sun conjunct the south node in Leo, I want to welcome, Colleen. I want to take us to our main theme. Our main theme is eclipse this. It's kind of a very tongue-in-cheek, eclipse this. Slow and steady wins the race. And so spiritually, an eclipse acts as a powerful cosmic reset. It symbolizes a temporary shadow over the ego, bringing hidden inner truths to the surface, closing old life chapters, and accelerating major shifts in your personal destiny and spiritual growth. The phrase eclipse this is not a traditional spiritual term or ancient cosmic axiom. Instead, it functions as a modern punchy slang or metaphorical challenge, akin to saying top that or surpass this energy. Spiritually, it frames an eclipse's raw power as an unstoppable force or a bold statement of personal transformation that nothing else can dim. This tongue-in-cheek, just bring it back up, eclipse this, slow and steady wins the race. There's other euphemisms that we use that with the word this with an exclamation point. That's the energy of this. It's very potent. It's very powerful. It's concluding. so much of the past, old energies, and how it's not comfortable to let go of everything that we know. And because it's in Leo. No, the sun, this eclipse was in Leo. The South Node is in Leo. It's all about how we release who we believed we were. All the things we know, all of these things that comprise, where I live, who I work with, what I do, all of these things are being stripped away, burned away, so that the new, the most authentic, what's at your center, essence, your soul essence, comes through. Because these are major transformational times. So to continue with Eclipse this, so core spiritual themes. When people channel the energy of an eclipse into a phrase like eclipse this, welcome Heather, they are usually drawing on the recognized metaphysical traits of a solar or lunar eclipse. We're right in the smack in the middle of both of them. So it's about total shadow work, bringing hidden inner truths, subconscious blocks, or repressed emotions entirely into the light by walking straight through the dark. That's number one. In darkness, the light emerges. We're midway through the eclipse season corridor. We're right in the middle. Now, these energies will arc out 3 to 6 months, but we're right. The eclipses happen in a 2-week window, a corridor. So number one from the unseen, in darkness, the light emerges. We're midway through the eclipse season corridor. So this is about shadow work. It's bringing hidden inner truths, subconscious blocks, or repressed emotions entirely into the light by walking straight through the dark. It's fated rebirth, acting as a cosmic catalyst or portal that changes your life direction rather than just altering your daily routine. This isn't business as usual. We've talked about this. This is not garden variety, everyday astrology these last 14, 16 months, and certainly the last 6, 7 months. This is epic astrology, epic change, generational change, cosmic change, and then unmatched intensity. Eclipse this, representing a moment where the sun or moon is temporarily overpowered, symbolizing that a higher, sudden spiritual shift has arrived to block out old, toxic noise. It's being eclipsed, so people, places, things, old ways, habits, beliefs, all of this is getting eclipsed out. The shadow is being brought into the light so that we purify it, purge it. Cultural and belief perspectives, a challenge to negativity. Metaphorically, eclipse this can be used as an energetic boundary, a declaration that your personal growth or light is so strong that external chaos will not and cannot overshadow it. So this is that doubling. We got all those doubles, double 19s, double 10s, double 1s. This doubling down on the way 2 is through. And so we double down, not to be stubborn, but to be so deeply committed, connected to this transformation that we're willing to walk through the fire. We're willing to release what no longer serves us, individually, collectively. And lastly, Vedic and global traditions. Many traditions view actual eclipses as potent windows for deep meditation, inner reset, and dropping what no longer serves you. Just spoke about that. Treating the shadow not as a defeat, but as a profound spiritual realignment. Remember, this isn't about killing or harming the ego, mind, personality human. We want a healthy ego, mind, personality human, and our shadow is there to assist us, not harm us. It shows us a different facet or aspect of ourselves. And some of our greatest evolution and ascension come through that cloak of opposites, through that shadow work. If it was all just given to us on a silver platter, we wouldn't nearly appreciate the value, the depth of the meaning. So through that hardship, through the darkness, the tough times, that honing and polishing of the stone means more, stays with us longer. We look back at it and say, I remember that time, because it was transformational. Slow and steady wins the race. So eclipse this, slow and steady wins the race. Spiritual traditions and modern perspectives on personal growth view slow and steady wins the race as a call to reject the ego's demand for instant gratification and instead align with divine will, timing, order, inner endurance, and soul deep transformation. It's not garden variety change. It is deep, soul deep transformation. It's divine timing over ego urgency. It's about releasing the hurry sickness. Modern society idolizes speed, but spiritual paths teach that rushing causes spiritual blindness. Slowing down allows you to notice subtle inner guidance and recognize what God in the divine, the universe, the unseen is building beneath the surface. Trusting the process. True soul work, such as healing, forgiveness, or awakening, cannot be forced or sprinted through. Pacing yourself shows a deep trust that things will unfold when they are truly ready. This is about walking the walk, talking the talk. This is about knowing that when your ego mind, personality, human, that monkey mind, that chatter is going, and it wants instant gratification and it's searching and yet everything inside of you is telling you, you don't need to do that. You don't have to do that. Quiet yourself, slow down, listen. And it takes great depth of character and will to override that monkey mind, that chatter, the ego, allowing the stillness of the soul, that force, that quiet force, that knowing to come forward, to guide, to lead, and that we harness that wisdom. So it's about trusting the process and releasing this instant gratification and this need for immediacy. There's times and places for that. In this moment, eclipse season, we're being asked, it's our mantra, which we'll come back to, relax, release, receive. Let me just bring it up. We're here. Let's bring it up. Relax, release, receive. That is what, because the South Node in Leo, that total solar eclipse in Leo, is about the release. In order to release, we've got to relax. And this came up with one of our Weekly Wisdom and Insights soul family members, this aspect of the Harry Potter movie. It's the devil's snare, and Hermione, Harry Potter, and Ron get ensnared by devil's snare. And the way to be released, to let go, was to relax. There was two ways. Relax, so you willingly relax, or light, sunlight, the light. In darkness, the light emerges. We're midway through the eclipse season corridor. And so this aspect of relax, release, receive. And then it's about faith and spiritual endurance. So this slow and steady wins the race. Steadfast faith. Spiritual triumph is rarely given to those who flash brightly and burn out like the hare. Let's just bring up that, because there's a hare. Eclipse this, beautiful image of a total solar eclipse. And in the foreground is a hare, a rabbit, a hare. So spiritual triumph is rarely given to those who flash brightly and burn out like the hare. It belongs to those who endure. Consistent, quiet daily practices, prayer, meditation, or mindfulness, consciousness, awareness, anchor your spirit. And it's about remaining rooted. Being steady means your peace does not waver when external chaos or distractions, monkey mind, try to pull you off your path, or what people think you should do, or all of this other input. The only one walking your path is you. And what's most important, especially at this time, it's true every day, but it's especially time in this massive moment of transition with these eclipses. And this upcoming, the sun is going to conjunct the South Node in Leo at that anaretic 29th degree. That is finality. That is an ultimate conclusion. You're not to be taken off your path. So listen. What's most important is to listen to your inner knowing. Your ego, mind, personality may be saying one thing. Your soul, true north, will know exactly what you're meant to do and how to do it. So take that step and it won't take you off your path. It is the practice of remaining rooted in your core truth, step by quiet step. So it isn't about do nothing. Remember the 19, the 10, become a 1, creative force, initiate, to take action. But step by quiet step. It's that, the lion doesn't have to roar, Leo, to be respected, to be known, to experience its greatness, its power. It simply is. And so it's to walk in that faith, complete and utter faith, steadfast faith, and being rooted, being consistent. So our main theme, eclipse this. Slow and steady wins the race. It's a little tongue-in-cheek. It makes me giggle. And in the darkness, the light emerges. We're midway through the eclipse season corridor. Now let's jump to astrologer Chani Nicholas, just to give you a little flavor. We're going to front load this a little bit. And this is from her, the weekly August 17th issue, number 128. Your intuition isn't lying. So see, listen to your knowing, your intuition. No, it isn't in your head. We're right in the middle of eclipse season and things are wild, chaotic, and wonky as F. Eclipse this. The good news? This week features a gorgeous moment of luck and opportunity, along with a dose of delusion. When Mars, the planet of action, forms a challenging square, frictional aspect in astrology, to Neptune, the planet of illusion, on Monday, this just occurred, confusion spikes. But then, Venus, the planet of relationships and fun, love, beauty, money, makes a sweet sextile to Jupiter, the planet of wisdom, expansion, which gifts us a boost of blessings. For best results, gather with your favorite people, tally the abundance, and trust your gut. Tally the abundance. Gratitude. Practice gratitude. Keep seeing, while all of this is being burned and stripped away, all of the illusions, all of the false identities and the mask, the ego, all of these, the possessions, all of this stuff, keep practicing gratitude for what is present. I'm awake. I'm alive. I see the beauty in nature. I see the image in the sky, in the clouds, whatever it may be. Tally the abundance. Practice gratitude. Trust your gut, your inner knowing. Chani Nicholas, the weekly. Listening to your instincts and honoring your limits will help you navigate the hectic astrology still to come. When the sun links up with the south node, the point that represents release, on Saturday, it's August 22nd coming up, expect some eclipse aftershocks. Wild cards, plot twists, and zapped adrenals are all possible, but spending time with pets, plants, and pals will keep you grounded. It's the start of Virgo season after all. We should all touch the grass. It's about being grounded. We're coming into Virgo season. Here's potential eclipse aftershocks because it's triggering the total solar eclipse, the sun conjunct the south node at that anaretic 29th degree. So this is about ensuring, it's number 2 from the unseen. What is this about? Shake, rattle, and roll. A cosmic shakeup lands on your doorstep. Upside down, right side up. What does that mean? It's eclipse aftershocks, wild cards, plot twists, zapped adrenals, shake, rattle, and roll. We could see, earthquakes, volcanoes. We're coming into Virgo, Earth. So we can see these types of occurrences literally, physically on Earth, but also internally. Do not freak out. Do not give up. Do not collapse. Just simply surrender to your soul. Surrender to your knowing. Pierce the veil of illusion. It's number 3 from the unseen. Piercing the veil of illusion. I can see clearly now. The rain has gone. And this is where hope and courage overcome adversity. We're right there because the upcoming full moon lunar eclipse, which is going to take place when the sun is in Virgo and the moon is in Pisces, it's going to be at 4 degrees-ish of each respective sign. This is next week, the message. This is when the message, the clarity returns. I can see clearly now the rain has gone. So the fog has lifted. The burning away has occurred. All of this, but we're in the middle. We're in the middle of it. So it's shake, rattle, and roll. They're showing me being on the middle of a roller coaster ride. Half the people get on, they're so excited, yay! And they're midway through and they're screaming and they want off. and it's not until the coaster comes in on its final thing and it slows into the into its disembarkation stop, and everyone goes exhales and goes, oh. And then of course you're on to the next great adventure. You survived the eclipse corridor, the stripping, the shedding, the releasing. Relax, release, receive. What's coming is the receiving. So shake, rattle, and roll. A cosmic shakeup lands on your doorstep. A cosmic shakeup. Let's look at that. So a cosmic shakeup landing on your doorstep is a powerful spiritual metaphor for a sudden divine intervention or awakening. It means the universe, the unseen, is disrupting your comfort zone to clear out false foundations, break old karmic cycles, and force you to align with your highest truth and growth. This isn't happening to us or to harm us. It is happening for us so that we will align with our soul source connection, what's at our center, our highest truth and growth. Key spiritual meanings include the Great Purge, removing people, habits, jobs that no longer serve your soul's evolution. Karmic realignment, closing outdated chapters and breaking generational or past life loops that kept you stuck. It's forced awakening, moving you off autopilot and demanding that you turn inward to face hidden truths. See, there's a lot of words like demand, disrupt, sudden. It's an intervention. These are actionary, forceful actions. This isn't suggestion. This is fait accompli. It's happening. Your soul signed up for it. Ergo, you're doing it. And how you go about doing it, that's up to you. You either flow with the river or you're swimming against it. And lastly, rebuilding on truth, shaking away what is weak so only what is authentic and true and unshakable remains in your life. So again, this is that being transplanted. It's the pruning so that the strength of what remains inspires new growth, is solid, is healthy. That, of course, when you prune a tree or prune a garden, is that, uncomfortable? Is it shocking to the tree, the plants, the bushes, the pruning? Yes. And then they have a moment, and then all of a sudden, all that new life just bursts forth. And then all of a sudden it grows more and it gets taller and wider and more beautiful. And then there's a pruning process. It's cyclical. There's a process here. Colleen is saying, talking to me directly. Yes, because this speaks to all of us. We are all the weekly wisdom and insights, this soul journey that we're all on, and 8+ billion souls on the planet that agreed to be here at this time to experience this. And we are all there individually and collectively, magnifying, amplifying, bearing witness, demonstrating, so that we can see, and that's coming up in here later. Colleen, thank you, that we're all in this together. That's important. So again, what we do to ourselves, we're doing to the whole. What we do to others, we're doing to the whole. And we know this, and yet we don't practice it. And so it's a big key point here. So shake, rattle, and roll. A cosmic shakeup lands on your doorstep. upside down, right side up. It can be like we thought this was right side up and now it's upside down, and vice versa. Or we felt upside down and now we're right side up. All these different, it's going to come in these kind of shocking, various, sudden, divine intervention, awakening ways. Piercing the veil of illusion, I can see clearly now the rain has gone. That is what's upcoming. The illusion is going to be burned away. And this upcoming full moon, lunar eclipse, in Pisces, on the Pisces-Virgo axis. It'll be the last one for some time, about 10, 18 years, something to that effect. So this is the final one on the Pisces-Virgo axis because, of course, the nodes have moved into Aquarius-Leo. So we're finishing up this final one, and then we're receiving gifts. Now let me go to, this is an excerpt from Astrology by Lauren. And this is from her, "Between the eclipses, we see windmills and or giants." She begins with a quote by Jeanette Winterson. "In the space between chaos and shape, there was another chance." So between where we've been and where we're going, the deconstruction and the construction, between the chaos and the shape, there was another chance. We're being given another opportunity to release, to ascend, to transcend. Are we taking it? Are we willing to walk the walk? Are we willing to walk through the fire, through the darkness? In darkness, the light emerges. A few shows back, it was, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Everything from the unseen is saying to us, there's light. There's light ahead. So don't give up now. Don't become, don't let your mind overrun your soul. Your soul is fine. Your soul knows what's going on. Everything else, and it doesn't mean that we're not faced with 3D human life issues, elements, and everything. We are. It's to say yes and, okay, no problem. Yes, I see that. Yes, I'm aware of that. Now, what does my soul know to do, want me to do? And let me focus my energy on that. That brings calm, clarity, inspired action. It's not running amok. It's not dizzying chickens. So, Astrology by Lauren. "We stand here in the void between the solar and lunar eclipses as if the eye of the storm, or swimming in the funnel of a great waterspout. Something is fading, and no matter how longingly we may cling to it, it is time to let go. Meanwhile, a future is emerging which we cannot yet see clearly. Therefore, we proceed on faith that everything will turn out as it should, divine time, will, and order. Some may feel like they are free-falling in a vortex of activity, impending change, and chaos. Shake, rattle, and roll, a cosmic shakeup lands on your doorstep, upside down, right side up." So here Astrology by Lauren is talking about how some may feel like they are feeling free-falling, in a vortex of activity, impending change, and chaos. Others will feel like they are being drained of their life essence. This is the veil between the eclipses, where change, insanity, and time warps converge. And all we can do is walk through to the other side. In darkness, the light emerges. We're midway through. So, and I'll post all of these, Astrology by Lauren and Channy Nicholas and the others, on the Dearjames Facebook page for the show thread. So you get this idea that this week, next week, because again, the upcoming full moon is on the 28th of August. So that full moon lunar eclipse. We're right smack dab in the middle of all of this. And there's a lot of change. There's a lot of right side up, upside down, piercing the veil. I can see clearly now the rain has gone. There's going to be this clarity. Now let's take a look at the actual astrological chart for this Sun conjunct the South Node at 29 degrees Leo. And again, when I read this intuitively, the astrology, what I heard was a pivotal point of no return. So this, the Sun conjunct the South Node at that anaretic 29th degree of Leo, is a pivotal point of no return. This is a profound spiritual threshold where old identities, habits, or paths dissolve permanently. This isn't garden variety. We said the force of these words, these adjectives, they're forceful. They're a fait accompli. They're happening. It's not the minor arcana in the tarot. The major arcana in the tarot denote fated, destined events. That's what this energy is. These eclipses are fated, destined. This will occur. We will release these things. We will experience, whether we relax or not, that's up to us. In the Harry Potter example, Hermione and Harry relaxed. Hermione kept saying, relax, relax, because she knew what the devil's snare was. Ron freaked out, kept screaming and thrashing and trying to get, and the devil's snare, the roots, just got tighter and tighter and tighter around him until she remembered, oh yes, the light, the sun, the light, boom, that released the devil's snare's grip on him. So again, how we go about this is up to us. We either relax, release, and then receive willingly, or we don't. Choice is yours. So a pivotal point of no return is a profound spiritual threshold where old identities, habits, or paths dissolve permanently. You cannot unsee your truth or go back to who you were. It marks the death of an old self and total surrender to a higher transformation, bringing radical liberation. Colleen is saying, so hard. Yes, because again, the ego, the mind, the identity, the personality, the human. This is in Leo. Identity, life force. All of this is happening in Leo. It's also our life force as in the sun, S-U-N, S-O-N, the divine. So yes, it's hard because everything we've brought ourselves or told ourselves is true about ourselves is being stripped away, so that what emerges is new, and new in the sense that it is aligned with a higher octave of truth, purity, authenticity. It doesn't mean that where you've been wasn't purposeful. Everything's purposeful. But what the unseen is saying to us is, there's a higher octave, there's more, and we will partake of that higher octave. Earth will partake of this higher octave. What we choose to do is up to us. How we choose to do it is up to us. That's free will. What the unseen is speaking about, though, is saying to us, reach higher, let go, relax, release, receive, because there's more. So core spiritual meanings of a pivotal point of no return, the death of the ego. Your old worldview breaks down. The ego loses its grip because you see reality too clearly to pretend otherwise. We can't pretend. We've had this where the ostrich, it's all coming directly at us. I mean, this is many shows back. All of this energy, this profound, as above, so below, astrological, epic change energy is coming right at us. The ego loses its grip because you see reality too clearly to pretend otherwise. The time of pretending, of burying our head in the sand, of looking away, that's gone. It's over. This is full frontal, eclipse this, intensity. It's complete surrender. You stop negotiating with your higher calling or destiny. You drop your safety nets and fully trust the path ahead. See, the ego mind, personality, human, oh, it'll beg, barter, steal, delay, procrastinate, all this stuff. Try to negotiate. No. This is a moment in time where the unseen says, that's cute. No. This is happening. Fait accompli. It's a done deal. It's going to happen. How you do it is up to you. Happen it will. So you stop negotiating. Complete surrender. Irreversible awakening. Like crossing an invisible boundary, your inner frequency shifts. Unconscious ignorance is replaced by active spiritual accountability. Unconscious ignorance is replaced by active creative force, doubling down, is replaced by active spiritual accountability. I don't get to look away anymore. I don't get to bury my head in the sand. I don't get to, delay and procrastinate. Showtime. It's time to show up. And what's showing up is your authentic soul source, soul you. That is what's leading, taking the lead, and liberating us through this octave change, this irreversible awakening. Liberation through closure. While it can feel terrifying, it's so hard, it can feel terrifying, it brings profound peace. Burning the bridge behind you means forward is your only option. And you'll notice in your individual lives, I am certainly experiencing this with you, all of you. The closing of people, places, things from my past, your past, so that the only way forward is the only option. You must go forward. You can't go back. What was there doesn't exist anymore. It's changed. You've changed. Everything's changing. Things close. They constrict. They close. They end. So that we will emerge anew. Navigating this threshold is about release nostalgia, grieve the past self or old life, but do not try to resurrect it. It's okay. Yes, there's going to be these, kind of melancholy and, these things and nostalgia and reminiscing about what was. Okay. However, don't try to resurrect it and allow it to pass. There is light. There's something before us that's emerging. It's embrace the unknown. Trust that the inability to go backward protects your spiritual evolution. You don't want to regress, you want to progress. And so trust that the inability to go backward protects your spiritual evolution. And lastly, it's align your actions. Let your daily choices match your new elevated level of awareness. Again, once the bell's rung, you can't unring the bell. You don't want to unring the bell. So the only way to is through. It's forward. You'll know what to do. And when your mind wants to resurrect the past or stay safe or it's tired or yes, eclipse this. Yeah, okay. They're not unaware. The unseen is not unaware that this is challenging and triggering. And yet there's light at the end of the tunnel. In the darkness, the light emerges. We're midway through. Shake, rattle, and roll. A cosmic shakeup lands on your doorstep. It's going to be right. And there's a threshold. Upside down, right side up, piercing the veil of illusion. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. So hope and courage, overcome adversity. And then before we go to this, it's going to be number 4 from the unseen. I want to bring in, this is Pam Youngin's North Point Journal, an excerpt, and I will post the entire, her entire post as well on the Dearjames Facebook page. Eclipse Corridor. The effects and karmic intentions of our recent total solar eclipse are strongly highlighted next Saturday, August 22nd, this coming Saturday, when the sun conjoins the south node. And remember, eclipse energy ripples out for 3 to 6 months. So while this is happening right now in August, when you come to this, if it's 2 months from now, 6 months from now, you might be on the tail end of it. So in hindsight, you'll see what was going on. But these energies are applicable. All of this is applicable when you come to it. So the effects of the karmic intentions of our recent total solar eclipse are strongly highlighted on August 22nd, Saturday, when the sun conjoins the south node. The bright light of our central star will reveal even more of the shadow side of Leo and could initiate the kinds of radical changes that the upcoming lunar eclipse, which is tightly square, frictional aspect, revolutionary Uranus, is meant to manifest, receive. So Pam Youngins is talking about here that this sun conjunct the south node can bring about and reveal even more of the shadow side. The shadow side of Leo, arrogance, hubris, inflated egos, this entitlement, all of this that we're seeing on the world stage that is of the Piscean patriarchal previous era. All of that goo has to be stripped away, burned away, transmuted. Because as we move into Aquarian, matriarchal, we, not I, we must come clean. We must come clean of the past, and we must come clean, meaning pure, authentic, aligned. We don't want to drag that in with us, drag that goo. We want a clean cut. We want to release it all so that we start over at the top. We're not starting over at the bottom. We're already here, but now we're up leveling. The unseen hasn't said, oh, you've been here, now punk, you're going back down here and starting over at zero. No, they're saying you're here. We're going back to where we began, an octave higher. Well, that's an up level. That's an upshift. That's not a down. So again, ego, mind, personality, human. Oh, who am I if I release all of these things? I've worked so hard. This is who I am. This is my identity. Da, da. And the unseen is going, yeah, that's great. That was purposeful until this point. Now, release, relax, release to receive. And that receive is an octave change, an up leveling. So number 4, the unseen said, stand firm and believe. And then there was John 20:29, blessed are those who believe but do not see. So stand firm. To stand firm spiritually means to maintain an unshakable, resilient commitment to your faith, your authenticity, your core values, and divine truth, despite facing trials, doubts, or cultural pressures. It is a call to hold your ground rather than retreat when facing hardship. It's about unyielding faith, refusing to let fear, emotional fatigue, or opposing cultural currents sway your spiritual convictions, your soul, your true north, your knowing. It's active resistance, not just passively enduring, but actively pushing back against spiritual negativity, temptation, or deception using spiritual truths. So this is not being led astray. This is staying true in the face of adversity. This is hope and courage overcoming adversity. It's an anchored foundation. It's relying on a steadfast bedrock, such as sacred scripture, prayer, or a relationship with God, the divine, the unseen, the all that is, source, however you ascribe, this higher power, this relationship with the higher power, so that external storms do not knock you over. They don't knock you off track. And it's about spiritual readiness, equipping yourself with inner strength and divine protection, like the metaphorical armor of God, to remain postured for defense and perseverance. So this stand firm, exclamation point, believe. Believe, in a spiritual context, goes far beyond a simple mental agreement or thinking a fact is true. Rooted historically in phrases meaning to give one's heart to or to hold dear, spiritual belief is an active, living posture of profound trust, loyalty, reliance, and complete personal surrender to the divine, to your soul, to the unseen, to that deep inner knowing that is constantly guiding us true north. It's about deep trust. It's about moving past intellectual, what we think, intellectual acknowledgement to rely completely on a higher power or spiritual reality, much like leaning or resting your whole weight on something secure. They're showing me when one person stands behind another and the person in the front falls back and the person behind them, of course, is meant to catch them. Hopefully they do. It's that deep amount of faith and trust. It is something we can't see, right? The person is facing forward when they fall back, but they're in full faith and trust that the person behind them or the divine is going to catch them. It's the Fool card in the tarot. When the Fool steps off, yes, trust all. It's exactly trust. This is Alicia, trust all. It's about relational commitment, giving one's loyalty, allegiance, and heart to the sacred, to the divine, rather than just reciting abstract religious doctrines. It's not about dogma. It's about sacred allegiance, loyalty, and reliance on the unseen, your soul, your knowing, your gut, your intuition, listening to that, fine-tuning the dial, and trusting to go as guided. And lastly, it's actionable transformation, allowing your core convictions to actively guide your daily behavior, decisions, and inner peace. So when we're aligned and we're listening, yes, you have to calm the ego, the human, the mind. You don't have to do anything, but this is the way to or through, is to recognize it. Yes, I see you. I know you're freaking out. I understand. This is the conversation you're having with yourself. And then you say, and yet, what I know to do is XYZ, or what I know not to do is XYZ. So I'm going to listen to my soul with deep faith, trust, reliance, knowing that even though I can't see down and around the corner, I know this to be correct or true. In hindsight, you'll be proven correct or right because you listened. Equally, don't listen, and in hindsight, you will be proven right, as in, I knew to listen, I didn't, I did XYZ anyways, and I got the results of that. Well, there you go. Both are true. They're just two different choices, avenues, experiences, ways. So stand firm and believe. And then this raised up John 20:29. This verse is found in the Bible, of course, and Jesus says, because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed. So the context of this passage in the Bible, this verse, the setting, Jesus appears to his disciples after his resurrection. Thomas, the disciple Thomas, was not with them earlier when Master Jesus presented himself after the crucifixion and the resurrection. He said he would not believe Jesus rose from the dead unless he touched his wounds. Jesus then appears directly to Thomas, inviting him to touch his hands and side. After Thomas believes, Jesus speaks the famous line, encouraging future believers who will trust in him without physical proof. The divine, the unseen, the all that is, the higher power, source, however you ascribe. The point is your faith. The point is in the believing without having seen. What we can see is massive transformation, the ending, the closing of old people, places, things, identities, masks, labels, belongings, all of these things. We can see the deconstruction. We can see the end. We can equally see the new emerging, the light, this up octave change, this fait accompli energy. What we yet what we've yet to have or see is exactly how this plays out. That's what is being veiled. However, what the unseen is showing us here is, with this upcoming full moon lunar eclipse, the light emerging in the darkness, the light emerges, the light at the end of the tunnel, all of this, I can see clearly now the rain has gone. Clarity, receiving, all of this is on offer, is being presented to us. I want to go to our key word, which is grace. Because this is the way, again, the way to, the way through is forward, of course. How to walk the walk with grace. So in spirituality and religion, grace is the freely given, unearned love, favor, and mercy of God, of the divine. It is a gift that people cannot earn through good works or moral behavior. Instead, grace flows from the loving nature of the divine, offering help, forgiveness, and spiritual growth. See, grace isn't something that you can buy. Love isn't something you can buy. These aspects of the divine, our divine nature, are innate. They're within us. They're authentic. And so they're core aspects of our beingness. And thereby, they flow from a loving nature from the divine. It's about unearned favor. The divine God gives grace to people as a free present, not as a reward for hard work. See, grace is given. Do we harness it? Do we accept it? Do we utilize it? Do we share it, offer it, convey it? It's free. It's being given from the divine. Unconditionally. No strings attached. Grace is present at all times. It's different from mercy. Mercy means not getting the punishment a person deserves, while grace means getting a wonderful gift a person could never earn. And it's spiritual fuel. Grace is not just the starting point of faith. It is the daily power that helps believers live well, heal, and stay strong during hard times. Experiencing grace changes a person's heart, making them humble and more willing to show kindness and forgiveness to others. There's another verse, and forgive me, I don't know its exact, the scripture, paraphrasing here, but it says, when my people, God is speaking, saying, when my people will humble themselves, I will heal their land. Well, see, experiencing grace changes a person's heart. It makes them humble and more willing to show kindness and forgiveness to others. When we're experiencing grace with ourselves, we also then humble ourselves, which means we heal ourselves. We show kindness and forgiveness to ourselves. That helps us relax and release. Nothing we have ever done, no matter what it is, prevents us from grace or humility, kindness, generosity, a renewal. It must be authentic. It must be genuine. Walk the walk. It can't be faked. However, it is also not withheld. So, last but not least, looking through everything, our mantra. So we have hexagram 48. And hexagram 48 is known as the well. And with hexagram 48, this is from tarot.com. Throughout all the cultures of the world, the well has served as a symbol for that which sustains life and provides a constant, inexhaustible source of nourishment. The well is the divine, the unseen, the all that is, source. God, Allah, Buddha, however you ascribe this source of nourishment and our cosmic unity and connection to it, with it. And this is where we were saying earlier with Colleen, we're all in this together. Human nature is basically the same. The passage of time cannot add to its dimensions nor take anything away. Still, like grace, Still, just as the well can be deepened to produce clearer water, we can enrich our lives by delving deeply within to tap our essential nature, our soul source connection, and reach the true source of spiritual nourishment. The true source of spiritual nourishment is your soul source connection, your divinity, your divine essence. Brings me to our first quote. Beware of shallow thinking. Like a little learning, it can be dangerous. So again, you can't fake this. It must be genuine, authentic, and we must be willing to delve deeper within to reach it. The image of the well suggests that going further within produces greater clarity. Be patient and you will penetrate your problems and your own nature as deeply as you can. Self-development is key to reaching down to tap the clear water. This is our quote 2 from tarot.com. If you do not lower your bucket into the depths, you're likely to come up empty. Remember, when greater depth is sought, lessening the speed of normal operations may be required. We got to slow down. A shallow, relax, release, receive. A shallow carelessness in the process of meeting deeper needs can be self-defeating or even dangerous. So again, if we're hurrying, rushing along, we can't hurry this. We are meant to slow walk this in that sense of be in absolute alignment, in the flow with these energies. Be ready, be right in step with it all. If it's hurried, it'll be hurried, but it won't be ego, mind, personality hurried. It might be soul hurried, meaning fast, or it might be slow. What you're meant to do is listen. Listen to your soul so that divine timing, you know exactly when to do what. And then it also brings us to the Judgment card in the tarot, Major Arcana. And the Judgment in the tarot, when Judgment appears upright, it's a spiritual alarm clock going off. In many decks, figures on this card rise from coffins, arms lifted toward a glowing angel blowing a trumpet. So think about how asleep humanity has been, on autopilot. And this epic awakening that's occurring. It's not if, it's absolute. It's happening. And so here, it's a spiritual alarm clock going off. In many decks, figures on this card rise from coffins, unconscious, asleep, arms lifted toward a glowing angel blowing a trumpet, awareness. It's resurrection energy, renewal, rebirth, and reckoning all in one. Shake, rattle, and roll, a cosmic shakeup lands on your doorstep, upside down, right side up. This piercing the veil. It's all of this. So it's resurrection energy, it's renewal, rebirth, and reckoning all in one. This card calls you to evaluate your past with honesty so you can move forward with the purity of intention. It's not about shame. This isn't about shaming or hating ourselves or eradicating the ego. That's not in the equation. Everything's purposeful. So it's not about shame. It's our third quote. Integration is the way. It's integrating the shadow and the light, bringing in the harmony and the unity, allowing this, our connection. Look at this beautiful image, the two souls, humans standing there in front of this beautiful starscape and this light coming down, descending and illuminating them. Integration is the way. You're being asked to level up by owning your story, forgiving yourself and others, and responding to the call of your higher purpose. You're not who you used to be, and that's the point. We're not who we used to be, so we don't need to resurrect the past or go back to it. We, the arc of destiny moves forward. We're meant to catapult ourselves forward so that we receive the beauty of all of this leveling up. all of this eclipse, this slow and steady wins the race, this energy, this beauty of this energy. And I just want to finish with astrobutterfly.com. Solar eclipse in Leo, total eclipse of the heart. This is an excerpt. On August 12th, 2026, we had a powerful total solar eclipse in Leo. Leo rules the heart, but this total eclipse of the heart is not necessarily about heartbreak or emotional collapse. Quite the contrary. First, let's clarify the heart reference. Leo is ruled by the sun, the epicenter of our solar system. All planets orbit around the sun, whose light and energy sustain life on Earth. Similarly, our heart is what keeps us alive. It pumps blood continuously and with precision, second after second, minute after minute, year after year, just as the sun delivers the light and warmth that make life possible. The heart is at the center of everything else. It's our engine. It's what drives us, what makes us feel alive. And that's where Leo's connection with creativity comes from. That 10-1, the creative, the initiate, the life force. So it's our engine. It's what drives us, what makes us feel alive. And that's where Leo's connection with creativity comes from. This is from astrobutterfly.com. Creativity not only in the painting and singing register, although it can include that, but creativity in the sense of identity and life force. See, it's being stripped away in Leo, the South Node. What was, who we were, what we did, all of these different things, that identity and life force is being stripped away so that a new identity, a new life force, a new octave emerges, comes to the fore. What is it about me, about my particular life force that makes me me? This is not the instinctual Aries drive to exist, but the identity that gives our existence meaning. I'm a mother, I'm a doctor, I'm an artist. See how we've identified, the ego identifies. Oh, I'm a singer, I'm an actor, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm a statistician. We identify, well, that's being stripped away. Because that, of course, it's like the bushel basket covering the light, that dims our light. Who we are, who are you, who are we, absent all of these masks, labels, identities, stories, scripts, belongings, positions, titles. You're your soul. You are your soul source connection. You are a divine being. That's what these eclipses are doing at this given moment, at this culminating point, this threshold moment. So continuing astrobutterfly.com. Instinctual Aries drive to exist, but the identity that gives our existence meaning is changing. This Leo Sun identity is the core of who we are. It's the way we operate in the world, and just like the sun, it gives us energy, presence, and direction. This identity is stabilizing. We know who we are because over the years, we've built an entire life and an entire ecosystem around it. A career, a family, hobbies, activities. All these anchor us in the world through their defined roles and predictability. So, what happens when the sun, and not just any sun, but a Leo sun, is eclipsed by the moon? We get a system glitch. So this is to become aware. Who are you? Who are we? Who are you? When all of these things are eclipsed, are stripped away, it's forcing us. The unseen, the divine, is forcing us to see who we are absent all of these things. And who we are is our divine selves. That's who we are. The mother, the doctor, the this, the that, those are things we do. We're the custodians of. We are not those things. They're on loan to us in this incarnation. And so the less we identify with them and the more that we treat them and care for them as a custodian would, as an experience, the more pure we remain. So in our current operating system, astrobutterfly.com, we get a system glitch. All those things that told us who we were, the identities that gave our existence meaning and gravitational force, purpose, are temporarily switched off. And in that void, in that black hole, all our unconscious desires, unmet needs, and unprocessed material come flooding in. Things that were part of us when we were younger, but we were told were unacceptable. Emotions we swept under the carpet because they were too intense or too dangerous to look at. Body truths we overrode because they demanded that we do things that would go against our roles, commitments, or the identity we had built. It will all come in. The dam will break, and the flood will reach every hidden corner of our life and psyche. It will simply become impossible to ignore. It's coming at us, full frontal. The total eclipse in Leo will crack us open at an identity level, showing us what is crucial for our development and what must be integrated so we can become more fully ourselves, become more fully whole, more pure, more authentic. Whatever made us believe that the moon side of our identity is somehow inconvenient, irrational, that's our knowing. The moon represents our intuition, our knowing, what our soul came to do. So here, astrobutterfly.com is talking about whatever made us believe that the moon side of our destiny is somehow inconvenient, irrational, or less important will now be exposed for what it is. And of course, the intensity and extent of this emotional flooding will depend on our own relationship with the moon and our yin energy, our divine feminine energy. Some of us welcome it in more easily. For others, being that solar figure everyone can count on, the model employee, the good friend, the devoted parent, the reliable spouse, has come at a considerable expense, neglecting our own inner life. So, when the light goes out, the part of us that has been waiting in the dark finally asks, what about me? What about my heart? As the balance between who we have been and what we truly need is renegotiated, something will have to give. Something will have to go. This is a South Node eclipse, meaning it will bring a necessary release or discharge of a model that has been running our lives for far too long and is no longer fit for the purpose. It doesn't go into the new. We do not take this old aspect and identity of ourselves with us. Namaste. I bow to the divine in you. Thank you for everything you have been, you have taught me, but that is not who I am at my center. That is not my soul. My soul emerges now. The light emerges. And so it no longer fits for purpose. However, a solar eclipse still does what a new moon does in the void. However, a solar eclipse still does what a new moon does in the void. It creates, so in between, in the void, it creates the seed of a new beginning. Receive. Not the type of new beginning we have at an ordinary new moon, though when the sun overpowers the moon, but a new beginning born from the moon side of us, one that is rooted deeper in our soul, something that nourishes us, that makes us feel held, met, and real. So this isn't superficial. This isn't garden variety everyday new moon. This is a new beginning that's born from the moon side of us, the soul side of us, the knowing, the divine feminine. It's rooted deeper from the soul. It nourishes us and it makes us feel held, met, and real, seen. And while we might be frightened about what may disappear, change, or must be released in our lives, keep in mind that all eclipses, regardless of their aspects or how dramatic they appear, are acts of alignment. At an eclipse, the sun, the moon, and the earth line up. For a brief moment, all three are brought into the same axis. The more we have lived our lives out of alignment with one of these three dimensions, the conscious self, the sun, the unconscious self, the moon, or the physical reality of our lives, Earth, the more destabilizing this realignment may feel at first. But this doesn't make it any less necessary. Eclipses are acts of restoration. Call them karmic, if you will, where things get recalibrated so we can become more fully ourselves. And what needs to happen, happens. This is fated, destined energy, eclipses, moments in time that will release us from the past. It will shed and burn away the past so that what remains and what goes forward with us is renewed. It's anew. It's up-leveled. And that's where we find ourselves. Number 5, finally, from the unseen, and 5 denotes change. They said movement, extraordinary movement, like you've never dreamed possible. So this is going to move us forward in a way that we can't imagine, like you've never dreamed possible. And then they drew an arrow down and said to our mantra, relax, release, receive. Keep saying it over and over again because there's movement, extraordinary movement, like you've never dreamed possible. This is where we are in these eclipse energy. We're right in the middle of the eclipse season corridor between the two eclipses. And next week, we will be dealing with the actual full moon lunar eclipse. And the message comes, there's deliverance here. There is this clarity that returns, knowing. So where we may have been, confused or awaiting or struggling or trying to resurrect something, relax, release, receive, because the new is right in front of us. Until then, be well, be kind, be safe, work with grace, and delve deep into the well, and we will see you next week.